Smallwood's background includes 25 plus years in media, marketing, and advertising, leadership training, and development and strategic planning. Christy is a trained executive coach incorporating a strategy-first approach with her clients of size, regardless of size, industry, or service needed, and utilizes her specialties of personality types and emotional intelligence to cultivate significant growth for both internal and external objectives. Christy's mission is to break the status quo of business as usual, bring order to chaos, clearing the clutter of stinking thinking, spark the inspiration of big ideas and audacious goals for entrepreneurs, and light a fire under their asses to bring it all to life. So today we're talking about messaging that matters and gets results. Messaging is really it's like one layer above the foundation of marketing. You got to start with who the person is, but then you have to know what the person needs to hear. So I'm excited. I always feel like you can't have your messaging too dialed in. So let's kind of jump into this. How can meaningful messaging produce revenue? Because I think sometimes people are so quick, like we've just got to get to the sale, and they miss that.
Exactly. So I work with a lot of, especially right now, I work hands-on with a lot of retail clients through this COVID. Oh. And my retail clients, there were a couple that did not have online shopping options. And so we had to work on how to change their buyer behaviors. And part of that was creating messaging so that those that had emotional tie-ins with, it's a salon and boutique, those that had emotional tie-ins, we could help change their behavior so they'd actually purchase things online because they didn't know. They just hadn't done it before. So having this meaningful conversation, that's one of those things that it can produce. It can help you quickly adjust to changing scenarios, whatever the scenario may be. One of the things, though, about meaningful messaging is, I'm going to say it like a lot of other people have said, know your target audience.
Yes.
I will tell people, know them like your best friend and you have refrigerator rights. Like you just, close. Yes.
You can open the fridge. Yeah, you do. It's gotta be a tight relationship. And it's so far beyond just, oh, my ideal client is between this ages and this ages. And they, make this much money and they live in these places. Like, you need to know the psychology of that person, how they think, how they feel, what they respond to, what they don't, what matters to them in their life. I completely agree that the day of vanilla messaging is gone because there's way too much of it out there. And if you're not like a specific flavor, it's going to be challenging.
Yeah. I mean, I work with a retail client who's charcoal and more. So he barbecue people. Okay. They go deep into competition barbecue. So layers of things that I never knew before, I got to learn. Mm-hmm. And these guys are serious. And so they don't want just we have a sale on charcoal. No. Did you know the science behind this can adjust this and this? And they're like, ooh, mouth-watering. And honestly, one of my biggest things, because I know they love food so much, my targets guys, my highest thing is pulled pork being pulled.
Uh-huh.
That's meaningful for them. Like, oh yeah, dinner's coming. What do I fix? So just things like knowing what they want is one key aspect of this, but then knowing what we need to say to them has to get matched up with that. And so understanding, the first step for me whenever we put this out is understanding this whole buyer pathway, right? Mm-hmm. I try to simplify it as best I can. First of all, we need to get their attention. Like, yep. How is that going to happen? And then second, they are going to determine pretty darn quick, like in the first few seconds, whether or not they even like me enough to want to listen more. And so that third step is, do they need me? They're going to their determination-ing, right? Mm-hmm. Of when do I need them? Do I really need that? Like, I may want it, but do I need it right now? Like, can I put it in the budget? Like, they're asking themselves all these questions. And that becomes that reminder system on our part, marketing, staying top of mind, staying there, having these relationship buildings conversation so they can move over to that fourth stage of shut up and take my money. Just sign me up right now. And that's what we all want. We want to make money and we want to help people. But once we know this, we can get them to that.
Mm-hmm. So I want to talk a little bit about copy for just a smidge here, because some people, I think they get nailed in on the right conversation, but they don't know how to structure it so that they take action. Like they struggle with that call to action part. So it's like they're having meaningful conversations and their audience is engaged and they're saying, yes, 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 this is amazing, but it's not transitioning into leads, sales conversations, clients. And I think there's that piece right there. Do you want to touch on that a little bit? Because I see that as a gap.
Sure. So actually what I do is like you have a Google document. I have a spreadsheet where at the top of my spreadsheet, I'm like, everything that we want to say to them, what they want to know from me, how they want to receive that information. Like, what are the things they already enjoy, like cat videos or whatever, like all of these things that I know they enjoy. And then all of the other elements, like where am I going to put it? What hashtags do I need? So relevant audience builders, like keywording, how to optimize that. And then I start I cherry pick and put it into one bucket so I can develop that copy. And because what that's also going to help me do is determine where do I want them to go from here? And that's part of the message. So I'm giving them what I know they need to hear, how they want to hear it, where am I going to put it? And then where am I moving them to next? That's part of that, the call to action. So is it going to be for a phone call? Then I include the link to the button or the link to my Calendly or wherever that goes. Is it going to be like from here, we have all had a place that everybody can go check us out more. And I have one as well. So it's that continuing on that pathway. It's part of the continuing conversation. Sometimes it's a matter of, hey, are you looking for this? Or did you have a problem with this today? Hashtag, I can help you with that. Click here to call. Or, you know, whatever that case may be. It can be when you know your people, you know how they're going to like ask Alexa that question. And so you answer the question online, they click through and make the phone call.
Yeah. Well, I think this is so important because how many of you in the chat, let's do a roll call here. How many of you are guilty of putting out a great message that everybody liked, but nobody bought from, right? There's more to the strategy of messaging than just creating stuff that people are interested in. Nobody's fessing up to that one, but I know they do it because I've done it too.
Same.
I can get
That's why I use the chart now.
I can get 100 likes. That's not hard, but getting people to actually take movement on it, that's a different level of messaging that we're talking about here. So I love it, love it. Okay.
And I will say that with that movement, there are going to be times that we put something out and we think that there's no impact whatsoever. Well, if you go back to, and that's the strategy first, if you go back to the objectives of why you're doing what you're doing with that post, like where are they along that customer journey pathway? Are they brand new to your audience and you're trying to get their attention? Are they contemplating and trying to decide if they want you right now? Are you wanting them to, like, where are they? But then there are times that you have the voyeurs, we used to call them voyeurs, right? Where they wouldn't engage anywhere. But if you are also handling a local business, I get this on a weekly basis. Somebody is either emailing me, calling me, talking to me on Zoom. I saw your thing that you did.
Yep.
I really loved it. Would love to talk more. Yeah. And there's been zero online engagement, but the live effect of it is meaningful and then I'm like, okay, I've got you literally physically with me. Let's move you in this pathway.
Yeah, I call them the looky-loos. And it is a fascinating thing how when you have a good CRM, you can track engagement with people, right? And when somebody shows up and they buy, and I'm like, where did this person come from? When I look at them, they have very little traceable things inside of my CRM. But they're ready to buy, and they've just been a looky-loo that's been following me online, looking at things that I've done, never engaged, and now all of a sudden they're like, okay, I want to hire you. And you're going, oh, okay. So the stuff that you do, it does matter. It just, it's not a one-for-one exchange with your social media, which is why you have to be willing to invest into it ongoing and not just make it a one-time shot. Okay, I know we're almost out of time and I feel like we could talk forever. So,
well, that's also my bad. So there we go.
Another like burning piece of wisdom that you want to drop for our audience today.
Well, Artie just put in the chat, consistency is key, just like email. And that's absolutely true. But one of the things I also focus on with all of my clients is when we work on strategy, if we want messaging that matters, it's got to matter to us as the owners.
Mm-hmm.
And so I work out that strategy on the first place, like what is emotional to you that is going to help resonate with your target audience? Because if I'm excited, if I'm bringing the energy of the room, which I'm known for doing, because, you know, not everybody shows up with the Wonder Woman tiara all the time,
Yep.
right? So if I'm bringing that energy and people are gravitating to the energy alone and they don't care what I do, they just want a piece of me. It's that know, like, and trust factor. And so, thanks, Austin. It's the know, like, and trust factor. If it matters to you, it's going to matter to them because they can feel that emotionally all along the way. They know when you've put all of you, if you've shown up well into your own marketing, they feel it. And so they want more of that.
Awesome. I completely agree. And I love all of the conversations that we've been having. I feel like at this point in the Pipeline Summit, you should all be feeling an intense sense of urgency to make sure that you really know and understand your clients. How many times has that come up? And that the messaging matters and the commitment to it matters. And I really would recommend that you all go back through the process that Christy shared for how she organizes that information is, I think, a game changer. So I know I am going to be going back and listening to this again and taking some more detailed notes. And Christy, how can everyone get in contact with you? Because I want that system. I really want to see that spreadsheet.
So funny you should say that. It is part of a free webinar that I have available to everybody. So that goes into the weeds, goes a little deeper into this whole subject on strategic messaging that I did just about a couple of months ago. And yes, I've got some of my people are in the room, so I love them tremendously. Yes, the free webinar is strategicmessaging.eagleeyestrategies.biz. And there has the webinar that can go deeper into it. And from there, if you want to brainstorm, you just click to schedule a call with me and we're all good to go. So, and within that webinar is that format, that spreadsheet format.
Awesome. We love it. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on today. We've dropped the link in. I encourage everyone to go and check that out. I'm going to assign my team to go and register us because I really want that too.
Thank you so much, Amy.
I love a good process and I'm excited to learn more about it. So thank you for being on. I'm going to go ahead and move you out.